Hello, good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to this virtual online class of APPA Public School. I am your social science teacher, Paulson Samson. So today is the concluding part of this chapter, right? So that is from the history side, chapter number 2. That is from trade to territory. Okay, so now the first one today to hit the class. Join the class, Shiva Biradar, followed by Bharatesh, and then Namya, and then Gulbarga Amit, and then V. Ratkal. Good morning, sir. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Prasanna, Srinidhi, Sushil, G. Spurti Reddy, Sanjay S. Kamble, Chinmayam. Good morning. Right? Okay. So today it's grade 8. Grade 8. And today's date is 11th of August 2021. Srinivas Rathod has joined us now. Okay, many have yet to join this class. So this is the concluding part of this chapter, from trade to territory. From trade to territory. Good morning, sir. Has Rita Patil has joined, Sunita Chavan, Neha Patil, Jivan, Ramjan, Samprit. Okay. Sakshi. Yes, Sakshi, she has changed the name. Good. All right. Okay, my dear students. So let's talk about yesterday. What I have taught. It was about the setting up of the new administration, which we have discussed, right? So now basically it was the credit goes to Governor General Warren Hastings, right? So he was the one who has carved a administration process in which, right, he has divided the country, right, into presidencies. So can I ask a question? How many presidencies did he divide India into? Warren Hastings has divided India into presidencies. Can I know how many presidencies he has divided India into? Question. Okay, Bharatesh SB was the first one, then followed by CM, Sushti, Sanvi Kanta. Okay, three. Sanjay S. Kamble, then followed by Chinmay. V. Ratkal. Yes, I can see V. Ratkal replying for the first time. Then followed by Swastik, G. Spurti Reddy, Samprit, Sharat, 03, and answer is also 3. Okay, Jivan, Sushil. Okay, 3 presidencies. Present now, it's Prezi. Neha Patel, PRESE. Do please correct that, right? Okay, so he has divided. And which are those 3 presidencies? I hope I have asked this question yesterday also. Just a quick recap. Which are those presidencies? Good morning, Sunita Chavan. Can you name those presidencies? Students, can you name those presidencies? Okay, Neha Patil, the first one to hit: Bengal, Bombay, Madras, BBM. Okay, do please. Okay, again BMBs. Sandhya Kamble later on. Devraj Pattar, Bengal, Madras, Bombay. Okay, Madras, Bombay, Bengal. Bharatesh B, Jivan, BBM. Hey fellow, don't give the shortcuts. It's just for you to remember that those 3 presidencies name: BBM, Bengal, Bombay, and Madras. Do please write it completely. Don't use these shortcuts. Bengal, Madras, Bombay. Okay, Sanvi Kanta, V. Ratkal, Vaishnavi, Anvir Bennur, Samprit, Roja Mailapur, Bengal, Bombay, and one more. You have missed out Roja Mailapur. Okay, so right, you have got it. Okay, and also there were 2 courts were there for each district. Can anyone tell me the criminal court in Urdu? There were 2 courts. One is the civil court and the criminal court. Criminal court, what do they call in Urdu? Criminal court. What did they call? Criminal court. Criminal court. Binod. Hey, who is the my type? Binod. Hello, my dear student. Who is my type and he has type BINOD? Who is this? My type, Binod, because he is making a mess of this. Binod, my type. Don't type that. Okay, V. Ratkal has. Okay, before V. Ratkal, it was Sanvi Kanta has hit this. Fauji, no, it's in, okay. V. Ratkal has hit the bullseye. It is Faujdari Adalat. Yes, Sandhya, followed by Sandhya Kamble. Correct answer. No. Rabia Shahin, something Diwani is wrong. And I am asking the Urdu name for the criminal court. It is Faujdari Adalat. So now what do they call the civil court? Civil court in Urdu. Now stop Faujdari. Someone Khudsiya, Qazi, it is wrong. Sunita Chavan, Fauzdari Adalat. Okay, Qazi is not the term, right? Civil code, Diwani Adalat. Okay, Diwani, Bharatish SBS, it is a bullseye. First, followed by Sandhya. Okay, now Fauzdari is finished, so it is Diwani Adalat, right? So, and also a Supreme Court was also set up in Calcutta under this, and also like depending upon the religions, for Hindus a particular code, and for the Muslim a particular law code was also established, because the the British officials or the justice who were of the British origin, so when they were getting confused to what the decision has to be given, so for that reason they have referred separately the Muslims and the Hindus, and both put to common also. So they have set up a digest also, in which they should not get, the British officers should not get confused, right? It was difficult to understand the culture or tradition of India. So later on, as those scripts were transferred into English, right? So they got to know us, and then they have formed up. Okay, now Sadar Nizam Adalat. Sadar Nizamat Adalat was set up in Calcutta. It means Supreme Court was set up in Calcutta. Okay, now stop it. Diwani Sharad 03. Okay, Diwani. Okay, no Mufti, no Qazi, please. And my type is typing something BINOD. I just want to know, my dear students, after this class, anyone call me and tell me who is Binod. Okay, now as we have read yesterday, right, regarding the war techniques, or the company has made changes into its military strength, right? So, and they started to recruit the peasants into their army, so which was earlier been practiced by the Mughals. So some of those Mughal administration or Mughal rules were adopted by the Britishers, especially like again gaining the strength or building the increasing the strength in their army, right? We have read it yesterday. So again, the war techniques also, and the recruitment of the peasants into the army of the Britishers, and then training them, and a uniform codes or dress code was also made for the soldiers, right? So they were trained. Drills will happen in the morning, right? Again, the training was there. So heavy workout session was also for them there, and a particular discipline was also maintained by the soldiers, and uniform, right? Civil uniform, same uniform was also provided to the soldiers. So this means a military strength is something which everyone, it may be any kingdom you can take, or any empire, or it may be here the Britishers, they built or they strengthened their military force, right? So if there is any rebel which has risen, to stop that or to prevent that particular rebel, so they had that planning to strengthen their military, and also the ammunition, especially like maybe gun or anything which is required. So earlier it was the swords. Now again, when the technology has, there was improvement in the technology, the gun, the pistols, and the rifles, right? As we have shown about this musket, right? Yesterday I have shown you about the musket also. The like the it will be a long rifle where the barrel is too lengthy, right? So those are also being used in this. And also, my dear students, like this I have spoken about the like the Mughals, they had cavalry and infantry, right? Okay, and the soldiers who were trained, and also the use of the sword, right? So, and now, my dear students, when Britishers were expanding their territory, my type, okay, musket and matchlocks, yes, those two are there. Those two are also a type of guns, my dear students. So now, musket, where it is been fired, triggered by firing, trigger is then pulled up, okay, and then whereas matchlock, no, they have to ignite it with a bayonet, and then they have to first they have to put on the gunpowder inside, and then with the bayonet they have to inside that, and again they have to send that gunpowder inside that, and later on they have to ignite, and then they have to fire. So that is the difference. And matchlock was too heavy. The shoulder force was used much more, right? If the shoulder is big, sometimes the chances are there the shoulder may lapse, right? It may change its position. So that was it was used by, must and should be used by a strong person, right? Okay, now again 185. Binor, I don't want why 185, why it is there. I can't understand. Okay. The next one, my dear students, it is, see, now when they were extending their territory, so they were fighting in Burma, Afghanistan, and Egypt also. And okay, so they are, so with this they trained the Indian soldiers because they wanted to increase the strength of their military. So they trained the Indian soldiers, okay, with the latest warfare technology, which was the development at that period. So they gave them. They were also used by Mughals. Yes, it was. They were also used by the Mughals. Who is this? King Kong Sufyan. You have to change your name. King Kongs. Don't keep this name. Right? Okay. So now again in the soldiers were subjected to European style training, drill and discipline, which I have said it. So now after this is the establishment of colonial power. ESTABLI, establishment of colonial power. Right, so from 1847 to 1857, right, 1847 to, you can take 1857, the Britishers has taken control of vast territory of India, either it may be in the west, north, east, or in the south, or in the center. They have taken control the majority of India. So they were ruling India. So how was it possible? It was, yes, the very first basic step. It was the firm foundation which they had made it when they fought the Battle of Plassey, and then Battle of Buxar confirmed that they have been stronger. And because of in the Battle of Buxar, as Shah Alam was also involved, the Mughal emperor, in that when they were defeated, yes, it made a firm foundation, and the Britishers have also got the right to collect the taxes, that is Diwani. With these two battles, yes, the Britishers started to interfere in this political matter and also became the masters also. And also how they have conquered the other territories, it is not only by waging wars, but also implementing some diplomatic policies. That is, one is the subsidiary alliance, we have read, and also the doctrine of lapse. A type of early gun in which the power was ignited by a match. So that is for the matchlocks, right? Okay. So now over a period of time, East India Company was transformed from a trading company to a territorial colonial power. So you have studied in the very first chapter colonial, right? It's the unjust rule of these Europeans, right? It is usually referred to the Europeans. Okay, I will not. Okay, someone please don't chat among yourself. The chatting is like, okay. With the arrival of steam students, so there was a revolution, maybe the industrial revolution, like the so by the invention of the steam engine of the mankind, and also the technology, right? So the technology with the steam engine was invented. With this, it was not only invented only maybe in the locomotives, but also they were used in the ships. So earlier the ships used from the Europe, if they want to come to East, or sometime 12 weeks. So with the invention of the steam engine, the journey was shortened from 12 weeks to 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks. The journey has shortened. So that was also one of the advantage. It may be importing or exporting the goods, or maybe getting any emergency help from their motherland. So it has very easy for them, right? So this invention of steam engine was also an advantage for the Britishers. Now more Britishers and families came to India with this, right? So when the journey shortened from maybe 12 weeks or 8 weeks to 3 weeks, so not only the British officials, but also they came along with their families and settled in India, or maybe somehow settled in India, or somehow they came, worked here, and then again went back to their motherland, right? And by 1857, the East India Company had virtually the whole of India under its control. Right? With this 1857, there was a war which we call it as the first war of Indian independence, which you will be reading in the further class, chapters, right? So that we call it as the first war of Indian independence. After the first war of Indian independence, that is 1857, so the Britishers took control of, you can say, the huge territory was acquired by the Britishers, was controlled by the Britishers with this 1857 war. So we call it as the first war of Indian independence. Sepoy mutiny. Srishti Mudal has used the word Sepoy mutiny. Sepoy mutiny was the word which was used by the Britishers. We Indians, being Indians, should not use the word Sepoy mutiny. We call it as the first war of Indian independence. Do please note down. Do not use the word Sepoy mutiny. It was the Britishers which used them. They called their particular rebel as Sepoy mutiny, and we Indians, we call it as the first war of Indian independence. All right? Okay. So now, my dear students, this was about the concluding part of this chapter, from trade to territory. So now this very important chapter, because this shows the company which establishes. Okay, Sufyan is saying, sir, don't take tension. Sir, it is clear. Okay, Sufyan, thank you. King Kong Sufyan. Okay, right? So now in this chapter, my dear students, as we have read, right? So it is the company which establishes the power. It is from, as they came as a trader in India and they started to rule our territory. Now screen is clear. Namya Patil has also given the confirmation. Thank you. Okay. So now the first one which we studied in this chapter is the East India Company comes east. That is, we started with Aurangzeb, the last Mughal powerful emperor. Someone is saying yes. Okay. And then his death in 1707. And again, governors and landlords, or maybe the Watan Jagidars, or maybe the Zamindars, asserted their power and control the regional kingdom. It means they started to establish regional kingdom, though they were under the control of Mughals. Yet after his death, whose death? Aurangzeb's death, they asserted their power and they started to rule with an independent kingdom. Now it's clear. Okay. Sir, my type, I don't understand who is this. Okay. Governors. Now again, can I have the name? My type. Who is this? My type. MYTYPE. My type. Do please reveal your name. My type. MYTYPE. My type. Do please reveal your name, because something you are going out of the topic. Don't discuss all those things here in this online class. Okay. Yes, my dear students. Again, after that, we have already studied about Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama discovered the sea route to India via the Cape of Good Hope, right? So that was a landmark which other European countries too followed and came to India. As now India has gained importance because of some of those spices, and also of the cotton and silk cloths, right? Spices attracted the spices, as well as cotton and silk silk cloths attracted the Europeans towards India. Sea route, SEAC, not only one C. Samprit, HD. Okay, Vasco da Gama. Then again, we have seen that there was when the Europeans all came together, and there was a competition. Wherein, when there is a more competition, means naturally the profit will go down, as these are all the mercantile trading companies. So now we have learned that who is a mercantile. Mercantile, usually they buy products cheaper and sell dear. It means the profit is much more higher than what anyone can't expect that. Okay. So now again, we have seen the battles. It means now trade led to battles. It means it may be the Portuguese or Dutch or French, English, they started to fight among themselves, but not on the land, even by blocking the sea route also. One or the other way they used to block, and it may be destroy or maybe take control over of the particular ship, right? So this has happened. So at the end, we have seen that the Britishers were the one who dominated. Rest all were left India or didn't have any control, because Britishers has asserted so much of power and also established their supremacy, as we have read in the claim to paramount. See, now again, after this, we have low rate by high rate selling. Yes, good. Sushil Kumar. Mega Media. Oh, C not. C route, R double R O U T E route. R O U T E is the route. Do please. And then again, East India Company begins trade in Bengal. Yes, we have seen in the year 1651, Kalikata, they opened the first factory. 1651 by again they wanted the free trade rights, but Aurangzeb didn't give, nor the Nawab of Bengal. So then trade led to the battles. Yet it was the Battle of Plazi and the Battle of Buxar was fought, right? So we had seen this battle also, wherein Mir Jafar was involved with Robert Clive, and at the end, in the Battle of Plazi, the Britishers won. Robert Clive won the battle because Mir Jafar was, what do you say? 1757 is the Battle of Plazi, and 1764 is the Battle of Buxar. Yes, okay. So Mir Jafar, Sirajuddaula was defeated by his traitor by the name Mir Jafar, and then Mir Jafar was made the Nawab of Bengal. He was made the Nawab of Bengal, but he also didn't stay there for a longer time. He started to oppose. After that, there came Mir Qasim. Mir Qasim was also not don't want to be a puppet in the hands of the Britishers. He also finally fought the Battle of Buxar, and then the Battle of Buxar was finished. So the Britishers thought, why we want to make a Nawab? Let us rule ourselves. So it was the last. Mir Qasim was the last Nawab of Bengal, who will buy at low rate and sell. See, mercantile, MERCENTILE, mercantile company, mercantile trading company. So these are the one who buys goods at cheap rate and sell them at higher rate. Okay, so puppet. Yes, Mir Jafar become the puppet in the hands of Britishers. Okay, right. So after that, we have seen of the also the Anglo-Mysore War, Anglo-Maratha War, and then after the subsidiary alliance also we have read, and then followed by the one more diplomatic policy which was introduced by Dalhousie, that is doctrine of lapse and paid fire. And also we have read about Robert Clive also, about he being tried in the court of Britain. He was tried, and though he was acquitted, he was released. He was freed of all the charges. And then the company, yes, the changes in the company's army, and then after that, the last was the establishment of the colonial power in India. So, my dear student, thus concludes the chapter number 2 of history, that is from trade to territory. Thank you.